Okay. Camera is recording. Mic is recording. Computer is recording. Yay! Welcome to my first 50 applications! This is the third time I've tried making this video, so hopefully it works this time. Let's do this. Okay. I am learning to program in Python, and I'm going to show you all 50 of my first applications. Only one of them is extremely broken. This is not the first time I've programmed. I have done JavaScript websites before, back in the good old days of making VR websites, but this is my first time using Python, so we're going to start with the dumbest thing possible, which is make a dot. I did start this using Jupyter Notebooks, but it turned out trying to squish all that stuff into Jupyter Notebooks did not work very well, and I started crashing it constantly, and I couldn't type in it, so we're using Visual Studio Code. Here's my first program. It is a dot made by a turtle, but you will notice that the window stays open until you close it. It's important. Here is a square. Oh yeah, look at that square. So exciting. No loops or anything. Everything's just hard-coded. Just learning the syntax of Python here. Working my way up to triangle. Let's do circle next. And this one's exciting. You can change the size of the circle by changing a variable. It's all very exciting. First, user input. We ask some questions to the console down here. Should I draw a triangle, a circle, or a square? Let's start with triangle. It'll ask again, and we'll say circle. And then we'll go over here to see the results, which are not coming up. Come up, come up, come up. Come on. Let's do this. There it goes. Circle and a triangle. User input to make a drawing. Yep, we have our first crashed Python. Oh Lord, just close. And let's see, that was 5. Number 6. Now you can make a shape with any number of sides that you desire. So it'll ask us how many sides we want. We'll say 3. Except for the fact that I'm not typing in the right thing. 3. And then I want one with 5. And then I want one with 7. And then I want one with 19. And then we shall bring up Ziblobum. Nope, we shall bring it up. It shall be enlivened. Enliven! There it is. So now it will draw whatever size or whatever sided thing that you desire in your thing's life. Now we shall do spirals. Spirals are fun. Oh yeah. It gets bigger and bigger. And then when it goes off screen, it stops drawing, so it doesn't just draw forever off screen. I learned how to do that too. Okay. Spirals complete. Now we shall go to making a white pixel. So the first 7 were all done with turtle, importing turtle into Python. And now I'm moving on to importing Pygame. And Pygame is a library that lets you have Python for making interactive apps and games and stuff. So my first is just a black screen with 1 white pixel on it. It's all very exciting. How to have a Pygame window and how do you draw 1 single white pixel inside of it. It's all very pixel. But now that I can draw 1 white pixel, let's draw a million bajillion white pixels and make static. This was the first time I figured out that Jupyter Notebooks might not be the best option. Is when I tried to run this, it was this size and then my whole computer crashed. I'm not entirely sure why, because theoretically it should work fine, but it does not. But working in Visual Studio Code, thankfully, it is working. I have static. So now I can draw a pixel. Let's try drawing a line with a loop. So draw 1 pixel for the range of 0 to the screen width. We're just drawing pixel, 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 pixel. And now, number 11. This one draws lines that are diagonal. and up and down. And it is very advanced. Learning how to draw things on a square. And now we're going to learn how to draw even more lines that bisect at a plaid-like intersection. Look, I made a black and white plaid. It's all not, it wouldn't make a very good fabric. Or I don't know, I would probably wear that. But I would probably wear anything. This is my first mobile app, meaning that I just made the screen phone-ish sized and animated some stuff on it. Isn't this an app that you would want on your phone? Uh-huh. Definitely. Okay, next. We have grids with variables. So now I'm drawing a box, and I'm drawing lines in that box, and then I'm putting that box at different sizes all over the screen. It's like static, but better. Okay, so now I have that stuff conquered. Let's move on to how to have an arrow keys. Arrow keys are very exciting. Arrow keys. So now I'm using Pygame with arrow keys to draw a cursor that moves around. That's all it does. It doesn't actually draw. So now that we have that, let's make it actually draw. Oh, whoops. This is an example of a drawing that I made with the application that I'm about to show you. Okay, so now it looks exactly the same as the last one. And you can arrow keys like the last one, but when you hit spacebar, there is a line. It is a line that has wiggles in it. Wiggle, wiggle. And you can make it dotted by hitting the spacebar at intervals. Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. Oh yeah, then we gotta go over here. We gotta make a little eyeball. Okay, we have a million applications to show. You can't just stick on this one forever. Okay, now colors and brushes. So now I'm gonna show you the same one, but I added another brush with another color. And for many of these first ones, I used Stack Overflow, but also the Making Art with Python tutorials, which were very helpful in learning how to do things. All right. Now, when we arrow key and we hit when we hit S, there's an orange thing that makes dots. And when we hit the space bar, you can get cursor. So now we have two thingums. Two very exciting thingums. And okay, so 18 is very boring. It just prints to the console, but I hadn't worked with remainders before. So I had to learn how to print them to figure out what they were. And they're super useful for doing things like do something and loop it over the size of the screen width or the screen height, for example. And in the next one, I use it to make gradients. So this is an example drawing that I made using this next app. And it has one-way gradients. So that means that they start at a color and they gradient to another color and then they stop and then they go back to the start color. And that is done using remainders. So I'm just hitting S here. I'm just going to keep hitting S for a while. And you'll see that the color does actually change. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. It's pretty slow, but you may be able to already tell that there is a subtle color shift. Whoosh, whoosh. We are going into more purple. Purple is happening. And you could make the color shift really fast, but I liked it the speed. So yeah, that's a one-directional gradient. And now we will do a bidirectional gradient using a sine wave. So that one I was doing like go to here and then start again. And then go to here and then start again. So now we're going to use sine, which goes to go back and forth between colors. So run it, run it, run it, run it, run it, run it. Is this the right one? Nope. I don't think so. I think I ran the wrong programs. Here's a drawing example of what I made using the bidirectional gradient thingum. Okay, so now we'll actually run bidirectional gradients. Open. Do it. Oh. Once again, I have the wrong thing open. I'm on number 20. Didn't even have it open. All right, 20. So now when we hit spacebar, or sorry, when we hit A, S, or D, we get these very fast color transfers. Whoosh. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. It's very fun. Okay. Number 21. Basically, this is the same as the last one, except for I made the background black, and I made the colors rainbow dipping into black, so it just the brushes disappear on the black background. And it looks real cool. And it's neon and stuff. Yeah. Okay. And now, the one with the brush size. So before I was using sine wave to do the gradients, and now I'm going to use sine waves to do the brush size. And do this one. This one has a very slow sine wave. And then this one has a very fast sine wave. So it goes blomp, 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 blomp. And then, okay. Kaleidoscope number 23. We're almost halfway. Okay. So this one looks tilts normal. We have our little cursor, but now we can see that as you draw in the upper left-hand quadrant, it reflects that onto the other ones by chomping that part of the screen onto a surface in Pygame and then flopping it this way and then flopping it this way and then flopping it this way. Lots of flopping. Okay, now we are going to do double extra super kaleidoscope, where instead of just doing flopping and then flopping this way, we're also going to just rip this chunk off and stick it here and rip this chunk off and stick it here. Okay. So we go up into the corner, and you can see there's like a invisible thing blocking that part of the drawing, and then other bits of drawing come in. So, that is double extra super kaleidoscope. And I think there's a drawing. This is an example of a drawing I made with that program. Okay, let's close a bunch of them because I have too many things open for brains to function. Close, close, close. Okay. Double extra super kaleidoscope is number 24. All right, let's do 25. So 25, we're going to spend a little bit more time looking at the code because this one was just me messing about with comments and talking about like what bits do what and learning how to do comments. This puts a screen in the bucket window. This makes a color, a special color that was first mixed up by French artist called Yves Klein in the early 60s. He used it to make large color field paintings and also slathered it all over some lady models and had them flop naked against canvases. All true. So yeah, this is just a silly comments one, but it also delivers unto you a very beautiful blue. I like International Klein blue. It's a pretty color. All right. Now we move on to having a class. This is my first class. And it is very hard to understand. And classes still baffle me slightly, so I'm still learning them. But basically what this does is that when you run it, you can move the cursor around with your mouse. Woo! It doesn't... There it goes. So when you click, it gets your XY position and adds that to the line, and it just makes a line forever. So if you really like making one line forever, it is very exciting. One line forever. Okay, now we're going to take a break from mices and classes and just figure out how to draw gradients, because I thought that was important. I wanted to draw a gradient, so I did it. Using the very helpful tutorial /code at pygame.org wiki gradient code very useful. Other people doing things and then letting me use them. I appreciate it. All right, 28. Drawing on gradients. Now I use my cursor code to let you draw on top of a gradient using those same things. I made the brushes much bigger and it's faster. And I also changed, the X brush to be semi-transparent and always right on top of the other brushes. That way you could like add more texture. That was my goal. All right. 29. Drawing dots. So this one uses that same mouse class, but instead of drawing a continuous line, it draws a dot at every XY place where you click the mouse. And the fun thing about this is that my laptop is a touchscreen, so I can blah, 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 blah. I can make so many dots. So many dots. So many dots. So many dots. Okay. Touchscreen dots. Okay. So now we're going to have drawing modes. In this one, you have 3 different drawing modes. And this is the first way I did it, and it is sort of broken to the way it is expected to work, but I thought it was kind of funny, so I kept it. So basically you start with the line, where you draw a line with his mouse touching. So now that we have this weird line, we can hit S for the face mode and D for the dot mode. So it's edges, faces, and points. Edge, face, point. Edge, face, point. Yeah. So that is not exactly the way it's supposed to work. It's supposed to be that you can draw with all 3 modes, like visible at the same time. So that is how it works in number 31. 31. So now we can make a line, and then we can right click to end that line, and then we can make another line, and maybe that one we want to be dots. It's very smart. And then we right click again, right click, and then we make another thingum, and then we say we want that one to be a faces one. So yeah, now you can have all 3 drawing modes at the same time. So at this point in the making of drawings process, I was in a terrible mood. I was feeling really bad about my ability to like learn what I'm doing and to like cobble all this different code together and to learn what a class was and all this stuff. That's, I had this bug in my last drawing thing. So I made a bad mood drawing, and the bad mood drawing was just combining my little gradient thing I had learned earlier with how to write text on screen in Pygame so that I could say fuck! Bad mood drawing. Because sometimes you just get to take out your frustration with the thing you're doing on the thing you're doing. And then right after that, I did number 33, which was check-in, which is another like print to the console one. So let's see, let's print it. At this pace, we'll be done in 2 days. That would mean we made 50 programs in 6 days at a pace of 8.25 programs a day. Good job, self, just in time for 8th house anniversary. And this was, I guess, 2 days before Christmas Eve. Yeah, the 23rd, because Christmas Eve is my house anniversary. But this did not happen. So I did, in fact, make the first 33 programs in, what was it? I think like 3 or 4 days. Oh, days spent 4 programs being 33. So I made the first 33 programs in 4 days. And I made the last 17 programs in like a week or more. The whole thing took me about 2 weeks to do. And that is partially because of the programs at the later programs just get more and more and more and more and more complicated. So that's fine. Slowness is fine. We're learning. Okay, now we're going to have those same drawing modes that we saw before with the points, the faces, and the edges, but now with colors. And these are randomly selecting a color from an array of colors. So if we do like this, and then I'll right click, and then I'll do another one. You can see that they change colors. Well, that one didn't change colors. Let's try it again. So they select different colors from a list and assign them to a new area of the drawing. 35 is basically exactly the same as the previous one, except for instead of no background, it has a picture as the background so that you can trace over it. So let's try... Oh, I forgot. I also changed the primary drawing mode from the edge mode to the face mode because I found that I liked that one the most. All right, 36. Going super back to basics and just trying to load a file, like open a file. So this one just opens this picture that we'll later use for other bits and bops. 37. Yeah, okay, so 37 is that same drawing code we were just using with the mouse. The same code to load the image in the background, but now we're going to try to add undo. So we have this thing, and when I hit C, it undoes, but you'll notice it's not very fine. Like, it'll either undo like large portions of the drawing, or if you're really careful, you can get like a few points, but you can't do like 1 point at a time. So then 38 is good undo. Exactly the same program, but now the undo is associated with a clock. So we can draw on it like this. And now every time we hit Z, we get rid of one single thing. Okay. 39, face flap. This is playing with kaleidoscopes and modes for the back, for the image being displayed. You could also add drawing on top of this. I just didn't get to that because it was already taking me forever. All right, so this is an image of my face that you saw earlier, but now it's being kaleidoscoped into all the sides of my face, being blapped. Okay. Okay, so this is similar to the thing I was doing earlier. I was just trying to load an image. Just load. All I want you to do is load. And this one just loads it rotated 45 degrees. It also loads the original. Which I don't know how to stop from happening, but it loads it turned to 45 degrees. So just playing more with like data and images and imports. Okay, so image flipper. Let me show you the code. Image flipper is the first time that I made something that would run in the command line. And so it uses like an argument parser to like take an argument from the command line and then like do an operation. And where am I? Documents, Python scripts. What am I on? 41. All right. So 41, we use that same image I showed earlier. So then I did the kaleidoscope flipping side to side, up and down. But then because it's an argument parsing in the command line, you can just add the output of your previous run into the input of your current run, and that means that you can sort of do this recursive image flopping thing. Bloop 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 bloop. Okay. Rotate and shrink. I'll show you the code. It doesn't currently work. This is my one broken one. Come on. There's 50 programs. I had to have one that was broken. So rotate and shrink is supposed to do something similar to what I just showed with the recursive flipping, but instead it was just to like rotate and small, rotate, small, rotate, small, rotate, small image. And I will eventually get it to work, but it doesn't currently. So let's just move on to iDraw. So this is why I had to have this separate camera, because I need to use the webcam for this. So this is also run from the command line. So let's get that open. I'm using the Anaconda command prompt. So first let's find it in here. Documents, Python scripts, codes, and then it's in 43. iDraw. Okay, so we're just going to copy. Nope. I did it wrong. Okay, we're just going to copy this. And we're going to go back to the command line. Okay, so most of the code in 43 is not mine. I copied it from the tutorial, from that Make Art from Python tutorial. But this was a blog post sort of related to the book, all about building a Snapchat lens effect in Python. So this is what this is from. And the reason I did this one is because I wanted to figure out how to, like all the package dependencies. So in order to do this, you need Dlib and you need OpenCV. And to use Dlib, you need a C++ compiler, and you have to have the right tools installed in Visual Studio Code, and you have to have the right version of Python. Like there's a bunch of dependencies in order to get this to work. So this is mostly not my code. This was just me practicing, like, how do you get all this shit installed correctly, and what happens when you get this error, and like all that kind of stuff. So we're just gonna go to it directly in the thing, and then we're gonna run Python. Also learning how to use the command line, because I'm definitely not an expert at that. Python, what are you called again? Oh, iDraw.py, and then we will need to give it a predictor, so dash predictor, and then the predictor is called this one right here. So we're just going to copy that and paste it into the command line. And then run it. And then if we give it a second or 7, it will pop open the webcam. Maybe. There it goes. Okay. So now it has 2 controls. It has S and R. S starts the I jobbles. I jobbles. I jobbles. Look at him. Look at all those eyeballs. And then R starts recording frames, which I'm not going to do because I'm already running like 7,000 things on here. Oh, wait, I forgot. Quit? Yeah. Q to quit. But I will show in this image sequence file, you can, my previously recorded, you can capture frames from it using R. Oh yeah, there's me and Steve being silly waffles. Silly waffles. So it works on multiple people. Okay, so that was 43. That one program probably took me 2 days, even though most of the code's not even mine. It was just, package dependencies are hard. You have to install so much stuff. I had to update pip. It was like a whole thing. Okay. 44, very simple. Just trying, again, to understand how classes work and how writing classes to the screen is different iteration objects, like all of that stuff. 44. So now I'm trying to go back. So I did the exciting like I thing. And now I'm trying to go back and just sort of like learn piece by piece how to use OpenCV in my project. So here we're just opening the camera. That's it. That's all that's happening, is that I'm opening the camera, and when you hit escape, it will close it without crashing anything. So then in 46, 46 does the same thing, opens the camera, but now we're changing the color scape of the camera from color to black and white. And again, when you hit escape, it closes it. Now we're going to try and draw on the camera. You'll see right here, these are just like, literally just some lines. I wanted to make it as, you know, the advice I have been given in learning to program, which I will now attempt to take so much to heart, which is that, like, when you're doing a new thing, do the dumbest thing possible. Just do the dumbest thing, because then you'll find the bugs and the limits and everything. So when I run this one, it opens the camera in that black and white color space, and it draws 4 different lines. They are of different widths. Oh wait, escape. Always hit escape. I would like the close button to work, but it doesn't currently. Okay. So then, how to animate lines on top of the camera. Currently I'm just doing a little star that has like random motion. So let's try that one. And this one's fun because you can like Okay. That's 48. 49. Seems simpler, but this was really hard to figure out. So trying to use convex polygons on OpenCV, I didn't quite understand how they worked, but eventually I figured out with the help of some people on Stack Overflow that you have to use a NumPy array to have the points, and then once you has the points, then you can just put them as points into the, but I didn't know that. So here we go. Now we're animating a very excited face and my good job self, because this is number 49 and I was real proud of getting to this point. There were definitely a few points in this process where I was like, fuck it, there's no way I'm getting to the end of this. This is a horrible nightmare. And then my very final one, playing with Colorscape and changing to HSV and putting animations and text and fun things. So this is just me kind of celebrating the end of those 50 things. I definitely have so much more to learn in Python. So many things. So much things to learn in Python. But this is a good sort of like first foray. And now I want to do 50 more with the theme of video and machine learning and all that stuff. So there will be more, but these are my first 50 programs. Escape. Good job, self. You did it. Woohoo! Dancer. Doggets.